Okay, this is how you can get faster in just 30 days. And this is exactly what I would do if I was training for 5K or 10K and I was trying to push in the last 4 weeks to get the very best out of my race result. Now, I'm going to talk you through each individual key session, which is the weekday, Wednesday interval session where we're building speed and speed endurance, and the weekend Sunday long run where we're building endurance and stamina, but we're also going to insert some faster segments of that. So we've got 2 areas where we're gaining super compensation so that in 4 to 5 weeks, once we've done this 30 days, we can run faster than we currently can for 5 or 10K. So here's what I would do, and this is specifically training for 5K. So the first Wednesday interval session, I would do 20 times 1 minute. With 60 seconds rest in between. I would always keep 60 seconds rest in between so I can monitor the progress. What is my heart rate doing when I'm recovering? Whether I'm running 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute, or 10 minute intervals. Super important. 20 times 1 minute, and that would be really pushing, but still within myself. No matter how fast or no matter how high the goal, we still need to keep these interval sessions within ourselves. We need to keep them in control. So we're watching the heart rate nicely climb within the rep, and then nicely fall within the recovery. And if we start to see the recovery not coming down as much, and it's maybe after 7 or 8 reps, then we know that it's going to be difficult to complete the rest of the session. And it's about pacing the session, being in control of it, having it within ourselves. That's what's going to give us the right level of super compensation to affect the rest of our running and to affect in a positive way the end goal. So I would do that on the Wednesday. Then after 4 days of recovery, so my recovery run and my easy run would nicely lead me to the weekend Sunday long run, I would do an hour long run. And this would include 20 minutes at 20% less than marathon pace, so quite comfortable for me. Then I would do 4 times 5 minutes with 60 seconds float within that. So 20 minutes, 20% less than marathon pace, so quite comfortable. If you just want to keep it easy, quite comfortable. And then 4 times 5 minutes. So I'm really focused on those 5-minute reps. And that's going to be around about the pace that I want to run for 5K, or between my 5K and 10K pace. The closer I get, depends on how difficult it is for you. Again, it's about keeping control of that session. It's 4 times 5 minutes, and then 60 seconds flow or jog in between, whatever you can manage in order to complete that those segments, and then 20 minutes on the end of it, again, 20% slower than marathon pace. So an hour or an hour and 4 minutes if you include the recoveries of a dedicated specific long run. Super important, and it's nicely feeding back into your times. Then the second Wednesday interval session is going to be 10 times 2 minutes. So again, 20 minutes of total volume, and there's only 10 reps this time, but the rep is twice as long. So it's important. It's me on the edge. It's me really pushing, but am I nicely seeing the heart rate raising within the rep and then recovering nicely within the recovery? That's what I'm looking to see. And if it's going too far up and it's not my heart rate is not recovering well in between recoveries or in between reps, then I know that it's going to be difficult for me to finish the session, even if there's only 10 reps. Super important to be really pushing, but not too far so that you're out of control. If you're out of control of any of these interval sessions, there's a higher chance of, first of all, not completing the session, but second of all, a higher chance of injury risk, especially if you're super competitive with yourself, because you want to hit those paces, you want to hit those times or those distances, and so you'll push yourself, you'll go beyond. As I always say, training is just stretching that elastic band so that next time we can stretch it further, not stretch it so that we snap it. And if we go too fast in the intervals and we're not seeing our heart rate recover, we're literally about to snap the elastic band. So super important. Then what I would do for the weekend long run that week, in the second week, it's exactly the same session. An hour of focused work, 20 minutes easy again, then 2 times 10 minutes, ideally at race pace or race pace plus 10% slower, and then 20 minutes easy afterwards. And again, for those 10 minutes, they're longer than the weekend before. It may feel harder for us, but we're digging in, we're pushing, and we're visualizing what is the goal within that 30-day period that we're trying to improve towards. We're visualizing that event and how it's going to feel. Right now, if we're 2, 3, 4 weeks out, we should be able to run the goal pace, whether we're training for 5K or 10K, we should be comfortable to run 10 minutes at that pace, even if it's within an hour long run. But with it being within an hour long run and having that extra tiredness in the legs from the start and the end is going to make us more conditioned to make race day feel easier, but more enjoyable as well. Then what I would do is for the weekday, Wednesday interval session, I would do 7 times 3 minutes. So slightly less reps, but the rep length is longer again. And again, it's about really digging in. I'm keeping 60 seconds recovery as a constant so I can see what the heart rate is doing. I'm aiming for a level to get that back. It's ideally 130 beats after each rep in order for me to get ready to go again, so I'm in control of the total session. So it's all about pushing, but not too far, so I'm out of control. It's about pushing, but keeping it in control, keeping it within myself, and that's going to give you nice super compensation. Again, cannot stress how important the warm-up is. So my warm-up will initially be 3, 4, 5 minutes walking. How's my body feeling? Graduate, a small jog, short jog, just to make sure that everything's working in the right way. There's no tightness. If there is any tightness, I'm stopping and stretching. And then by the end of the warm-up, I'm getting ready to run that 3-minute rep. And those first 2 3-minute reps, I don't want them for free. I don't want them for me going too slow because I'm not yet ready to run fast. I want to run all those 7 reps of 3 minutes as fast as I possibly can so that I'm gaining this speed after the 30 days of this training. Then for that long run, I'm doing the same hour session. But what I'm doing is I'm splitting the middle distance up again. So I'm doing 20 minutes easy or 20% slower than marathon pace. And then I'm doing 10 times 2 minutes with 60 seconds float in between. And then 20 minutes on the end, easy again, or 20% slower than marathon pace. What that's doing is putting me in a focused long run that is specific to the race pace that I'm trying to achieve. And what I'm trying to do with those 2-minute intervals is I'm trying to hit race pace. I'm trying to hit 5K pace or the 10K pace that I'm training towards. It will be very similar, the pacing. And within the 60 seconds recovery, I'm jogging, so the lactate clearance is working for me nicely, similar to as it does if I'm standing still and I'm just waiting for the next rep. But I'm able to do that, so that's that 20 times 20 plus 10 minutes on it. So it's going to take you an hour and 10 minutes. It's going to take you 70 minutes. And that's nicely feeding into the goal target that we're trying to hit. And then for the final week interval, I'm going to go back to the 20 times 1 minute because I want to see what improvement I've got over the last 3 weeks from those. I'm not going to take the 4th week back because we're trying to get as much improvement from the 30 days as possible. I'm going to do 20 times 1 minute again. I'm going to see what that now looks and feels like. So I'm pushing, I'm on the edge, but I'm in control of the session. I've got full control of the session. It's all within myself. I'm not trying to run the last 2 fast. I'm warmed up properly, so the first 2 are not sloppy. They're not out of control. I'm in control of all the session. And I'm seeing what my heart rate is doing in between on the recoveries, and that's nicely coming down. It's building a level of confidence ready for me to do my challenge. And then on the weekend long run, so this will be a 4th weekend long run, I'm going to do 20 minutes easy to begin with, or 20% less than marathon pace. And then that middle segment, I'm going to do 20 times 1 minute as well. So I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to do it at race pace because it's going to feel too easy. I'm going to break it down so it's a little bit slower. So if you're training for 5K, do it at around about 10K pace. If you're training for 10K, do it at around about half marathon pace. It will feel like accelerations. It's difficult to pace 1 minute, especially when they're in a long run. But it feels like an acceleration. And afterwards, you just gradually jog in, lactate clearance is working for you, then you're going again. And if you're able to pace a session like that, it will give you lots of confidence that you're running that fast within an hour plus the recovery long run. And then on the back end of that, there's 20 minutes easy or marathon pace plus 20%, so slower 20% than marathon pace. And that's giving us a really nice 4 weeks of training sessions. And remember, the week is so structured. Wednesday interval session, weekend Sunday long run, meaning that in 4 weeks, we've just got 8 key sessions. And as long as we're doing a recovery run slow enough, we're checking out our body, we're making sure that the faster session or the longer session is soaked in, as long as we're using the easy run as it should be as a bridge from the recovery run to the faster or longer session, we're going to put ourselves in a really good place to hit the speed session hard and to get the super compensation from that. And we're going to hit the long run hard, and you've seen how specific they are. We're going to hit that long run hard so that we're getting the super compensation from there. And together those 2 sessions and the 8 sessions in total is going to give you the discipline and consistency with those sessions in order to put you in a really good place that with between 5 and 10 days, freshening up the legs, keeping the intensity, but doing a little bit less volume, you'll be in a really good place to hit 5K or 10K PB. Good luck, and if you've got anything from this, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And if you've got any questions on that, pop them in the comments below.